My name is Elias. I've been dropshipping on eBay for the last 2 to 3 months. And for the next 90 days, I'll be building an account from 0 to 10,000 listings and showing you guys every single step of the way. So currently, my first account's sitting at around 9,000 listings. On these 90 days, we'll be focusing on my second account, which I'll be taking from 0 to 10,000. It's currently at, I think, 7 or 14 listings. But basically, 0, I'll be taking you from where it's at now to 10,000 listings. And what this will do is not only build a testimony on the business model itself, but it will show you guys step by step what it actually takes to go from 0 to 10,000 listings, which converts to 1,500 to 3 grand a month. So without wasting any more time, let's just get straight into day one. All right, so I want to start off by prefacing that these videos are going to be way more raw and not as many edits. But to start, we have 15 listings right now. This account has already been warmed up. As you can see, the last 90 days, we've already done $150 in sales. We warmed up by just selling items around the house, right? And we already have 3 feedbacks, which is really important because you want to build foundation. We typically use the word warming up an account or priming the account. And this is important because say you were to open a new account, right? Such as I did. This account was actually aged, right? This account has been around for a couple years. But I mean, just as an example, this account was originally a personal account and we converted it into a business. So whether it's a brand new account or you're going to convert it, I always recommend. I have a lot of questions, a lot of comments from my previous videos where people are saying like, "Hey, I have an account that's been around for a while. Is it okay to start listing?" And what I always say, because my first account, the one that's doing 1,500 to 2 grand this month, that account was originally a couple years old, right? It was one that I used in the past, and I was just listing items around the house. And I always say it doesn't make sense to risk your account being suspended just to be able to list for an extra couple of days, right? Because a month down the line, it wouldn't have mattered in the first place. And you'd regret it if it meant that your account is less, like stable and secure. So today, what the plan is, like I said before, we're currently sitting at 15 listings. We're gonna double it. We're gonna go for 30 today. I'm gonna opti-list 12, which of course that means bulk listing, and I'm gonna snipe 3. So to start off, right, we're gonna head on Amazon. I don't know if I have a list already built, but yeah, we're just gonna head to a bestseller. And in this case, I might actually look up a specific item because I like selling a certain niche of products. But yeah, let's look up bedroom fan. How about that? So on the bestsellers tab, it's very broad and it's the same bestsellers every time. Like I never really see an update within the time frame of when I started eBay dropshipping. So sometimes I just look up um, different Amazon searches and you'll still get the bestseller. So we can use this one for example. It doesn't need to be a bestseller. Like it can also be one with just high reviews and it has like some sort of volume. Um, so we'll just go with this one, right? So the original price is what, $60. So we're gonna go ahead and wait for it to load, and we're just gonna search it all on. Keep in mind we're using eBay Sniper as a software, which allows us to bulk list a lot easier and more efficiently, as well as do so in a fashion where there'll be demand behind your products, right? So just starting off here, right? This guy's obviously drop shipping. We're buying it for what was it, 60? Yeah, a little under $60, and he's selling it for 103. So with sniping, we're gonna want to build a list of people who are drop shipping to dissect the data and see, because again, I know I have videos on this previously, but you see I'm selling sellers right now. Like part of the software is it allows you to save these sellers. Um, the software, a part of it is competitor research. So what this would mean is I'd be able to turn on sold history and I'd be able to filter data to where I could see, items that sold in the last 3 days and put a certain quantity. So say I wanted to see items that sold 3 times in the last 3 days, that's what I'd filter it as. And then you'd be able to see these products, see the titles that they're using, just to be able to like prove demand, be able to prove that these items will sell. So it makes sniping a lot easier and more efficient. Um, so while I'm looking for someone to plug into the product research to bulk list, I'm also going to save some of these sellers. So yeah, all these guys are drop shipping just because of the price difference, and they're all the same photos. It's because they're all getting it from Amazon. Yeah, we're just gonna save all these listings or sellers. All right, so that's enough. We're gonna go for this seller right here. I like his markup percentage. So we're gonna go ahead and click that little icon, and you are gonna be able to see all of the items that he is selling. And what we are gonna do is simply clear title, extract. What this does, oh, actually, we're not gonna do that. You wanna turn off sold history. So we're gonna go ahead and extract all the titles. Well, I guess we'll clear them first. Shoot. All right, so you want to make sure that all the titles are cleared, and then you're gonna extract them. What that's gonna do is add all the titles of the items that are sold. All these items have proven demand, so that's the important part, is just knowing that these items have sold. And then our software goes ahead and it adds a unique title onto it, so you don't have as much competition. And like I said before, this niche of items has proven demand. So you're gonna open up the software. Actually, first you wanna view all the titles and then copy it to your clipboard. And then within the software, there's going to be a part that says Product Hunter. You're going to open that. What you're going to do here is literally just clear both of these, and you are going to paste all the titles. You're going to click Search Titles, and what that's going to go ahead and do is scan through all these titles. We have a filter set to where, we want 2 links through Amazon, which equates to listings per title, as well as we filter it so that it has a minimum price of $10 and a max price of 100, which is through Amazon, which that means that we'll be selling it at our 120% markup at 240 and then 240, right? So you can track it here. This is percentages. From this point, you just kind of sit back and wait, and then whenever that finishes up, you'll get a list of links like we have so far. So I actually already have items plugged into my lister, so I went ahead and exit out of the product hunter because I don't really need it. So like I said before, we have 15 listings currently. We're going to add another 15. And the reason at the start I said that I'm going to go ahead and list 12 through the bulk lister and snipe 3 is because we're going about creating our account with a structure of 90% bulk listed, 10% sniped. And what that's going to do is allow us to build momentum for our bulk listed items. I talk about this more in depth in my previous video, but to put it in simple terms, having 90% of our items bulk listed with 10 sniped as opposed to having all of them bulk listed, you're going to have more momentum for your bulk listed items to sell. So right here, just to show you guys how the bulk lister works, we're going to go ahead and reset and terminate. And because we want to list 12, I'm just going to go ahead and put the thread count to 12 because I'm going to start it and pause it right away. Normally, right, like on my first account where I'm at 9,000 listings, I'm doing like 150 to 200 a day. I just put the thread count from 5 to 8, and then I just let it run for however many I want to list for the day. But since I'm at the beginning of my account and I only want to list 15 today, I'm going to go ahead and click OptiList, let those 12 pop up, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit pause. So at this point, the software does everything for you. I'm just going to go ahead and let these list, and I'll get back to you guys once it's done. All right, so I decided to just list 10 through the bulk lister. We're going to go ahead and snipe 5. So what we go ahead and do is you're going to open up the competitor research, and our list here, I went ahead and I'm just copying it over from my other account. What we're going to do here, you want to turn on sold history. I'm going to go ahead and just put it as the last 3 days. And then scanning speed, this is just how many items it'll scan at a time. So it just depends on what you want to do for your computer. I'm going to just go ahead and do 5 or 10. But the reason, I want to get this point across, the reason that I'm only at, 25, I'll be at 30 listings by the end of the day, and I only listed 15 today, while on my other account I'm listing 150 to 200 a day. It's because whenever your account is being primed, you want to follow a format. I use a format where it's, you warm it up for a little while. Like you guys see that we have sales. So we sold a certain item from around the house, like actual items that we package up and ship out. Um, we go ahead and do that, and after it's warmed up, which you can warm your account up in a bunch of different ways for however long you want. Ours was this is an older account, and it was a couple weeks that we went ahead and did it for. Then you want to start off by using the bulk lister. You want to list one item a day, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. You want to go all the way up till you're doing 150 to 200 a day. And then once you do 90 days of that, you should end up with around 10,000 listings. So that's why we're doing it the way that we were. I just want to get that point across on why I only have 30 listings and I'm only listing 15 today, while on my other account I'm doing like 200. That's why, because if I went out the gates, I could list 200 today, but my chances of getting suspended would increase for no reason, right? So that's why we're doing it the way we're doing it. I'm just gonna go ahead and run this, and yeah, you wanna install CAPTCHA solver, which I don't think I've done yet on this account, so I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do that. I mean, it's very simple. You just click install, because what this goes ahead and does is it runs through every single seller's sold history. So the same way that we got the links on the sellers through Amazon, it'll do the same thing, just in more detail. So we'll use this one for example. Like whenever you search it on eBay, like before, whenever we were doing the research, um, whenever you click the little icon with the person and it brings up their sold items, it's the same thing, but rather than just showing items that sold, you're able to go more in depth and see like what date it sold and how many times it sold within that day, or like a specific time frame. So that's basically what it's doing. And the CAPTCHA solver is just because whenever you're cycling through that data, um, it'll come up with CAPTCHAs and it'll solve it for you. That's how you're able to automate it. So from here, I'm just gonna run this through. I don't know how many sellers, because we're only gonna snipe 5 tonight, but I'm gonna run it through really quickly and I'll get back to you guys. All right, so I had some issues on the software on my second account, so I went ahead and ran it on my first computer. Same thing though. We went ahead and put in minimum sold quantity of 3, and we're gonna go ahead and put it for the last 3 days. You go ahead and apply it, and we're gonna get 32 results. Remember, we're only sniping 5 for the second account, so this shouldn't be a problem. I have a video that goes more in depth on sniping, but we're gonna go ahead and start here. Okay, that's not gonna come up. So what's important about sniping is keeping in mind fees, and being tax exempt makes a big difference. I'm not tax exempt, so what I like doing is pulling up an eBay calculator. So what that does is whenever we search this on eBay, because you want to make sure that you're finding the lowest priced one, which in this case would be not this one because it's not the exact same title. All right, it'll be 813. So we'd end up selling the item at 809, which means that we would end up getting 672 from the sale. And if we're buying this just for an idea, it'd be about break even. So we could list this. This is an option. I'm gonna look at the other ones before I go ahead and list it, because more profit would be ideal. But we'll keep that one in mind. This one right here, it'll be about the same. What I do like to do is go to the filters and then like say I put the minimum price at 25. A lot of the times you'll have a higher chance of finding products with higher margin. So let's look at this one. I can't find the exact one. Copy paper. Yeah, and keep in mind, like these titles, if they're broad, like for example, these have brands in them, but say this one was like, or a better example is like a flag or like a painting frame that in the title would just say like the color or the dimension. And if it doesn't have branding, you can sort, because what's selling is the title. What you can go ahead and do is search the broad terms which are inside of the title. So say it was like black picture frame, um, 5 by 7. I don't know what normal dimensions would be. Then you're able to sort it by price and find like the cheapest one so that you can still use the title, which is what's selling, and you're able to sell something that still matches the title and would make sense, but you're able to increase your margin by sorting by the lowest price and picking a different supplier. But in this case, these are all branded, so we're going to continue to look. Go ahead and search this one. No. Alright, so right here, is this the same thing? It's the plus. So he's selling it for $69.99. Let's see if that's his cheapest. Yeah, $69.99, which would come out to, let's see. So at $69.99, that would give us $60.32. If we're buying it for $55.39, is there a coupon? There isn't, so that wouldn't be that much profit. Let's see, after taxes, that's about, what do we have it set at? I don't know, maybe there is profit to be made. Let's move this to a different state. Let's have an idea with, what is this tax exempt? Like, because you know some states like Oregon, um, I don't know if Michigan's on there, but some of these states don't have state like sales tax, so they're basically exempt. I just tried, India normally does, and I didn't have any. Anyways, we'll go ahead and list this one. So just to show you guys how this works, what we're gonna go ahead and do is pull up this link, and like I said, how to use it on this account. So it's no big deal because you can still copy and paste between the two different computers. This is the item. Let me verify. It's a 24 pack. So you just copy the information, and with the software, it's going to give you an option to import it. You scroll up, it's right here. You import, and it goes ahead and already cuts the price down for you. It's going to cut it by 5 cents. Just to cut it by a little bit more, we'll do 9 cents, $69.90. And what you're going to go ahead and do is snipe list, and that's it. It'll go ahead and list it for you. So we're going to do that for 4 more items. I'll actually give you guys an example of one more. We'll do one more together. Let's see. So look at this. So they're buying this for, okay, this one looks good. So they're buying it for $9.99. They're selling it for $24.99. They sold 5 in the last 3 days. So we're gonna go to eBay first, see if they're the cheapest with their specific title. Which, so it looks like they're the cheapest. All these have very similar titles, but when doing this one might be the cheapest actually. You gotta look for the very specific, like for example, some of these have the first first part of the title, but like everything down to like the commas and the periods, that matters. So let's go ahead and see this. This one's actually cheaper. We're just gonna go ahead and sell it at 1985, which, let's see, 1985. That leaves us with 1682, and I mean, if we're buying it for $9.99 with a 5% coupon, that'll leave us with a good amount of profit. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll sell it for $19.85. So here we go. So same as before, you're just copying and moving it over. So just make sure you have the imported title. So this is actually going to give you the traffic. And then let's see what price we said we are going to do. $19.85. And then snipe list. And this is what we're going to do for the next 3 sales. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'll get back with you guys. Alright, so just like that, we have our 15 listings done for the day. Tomorrow I'm going to come back and do the same thing, except we're going to list 30, so an additional 15 for the day. We'll continue to do so every single day until we get up to listing 150, 200 items a day, and we'll do that all the way up to 10,000 listings. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, make sure to join the Discord, which I'll have linked in the description. And then I'll have a couple of videos that touch base more specifically on the topics that I implemented in this first video as far as sniping goes or bulk listing. But yeah, same thing tomorrow.